All right, so by now I'm sure you've all heard of the fires that, you know, tore through the Los Angeles area, right? I can admit that I am one who lives not far from one of the fires that took place, probably 15 to 20 minutes away, um, and did not fully take in the severity of it. Right. Now, to be fair to myself, I was actually traveling that week, so I was gone most of the week of the. I actually left the day that the fires were the worst. Um, but still, even the people that I know that are out here, all of my friends and family, um, because we were fortunately unaffected, did not really understand the severity of what it means to people in general, but specifically those in the Altadena area, um, and those black families, generations of black families and black home ownership that have like just been set back due to these fires. So I learned a lot, uh, and my perspective on the whole thing has changed, and I won't get into uh, a lot of what I think because it borders the conspiracy theory thoughts. So we won't do that. But I did want to share this video that kind of breaks down um, the some of the just some of the generations um, or some of the problems that these black generations of families have have now experienced. All right. So this video is titled "Three Generations of Black Families Lose 7 Homes to the Eaton Fire," which is the one that affected the Altadena area. All right. So y'all let me know what y'all think. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts. Uh, yeah. Even if it's conspiracy thoughts, I'm curious to know what y'all think. All right, about what's going on or what has gone on out here, and what we can expect in the future. All right, so y'all let me know what y'all think. It's Ricky Rich for Black Primacy. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your notifications.
Redlining, parts of Altadena were open where people of color could buy homes.
So generations of black families planted roots there. Eyewitness News reporter Annabelle Munoz spoke to one of those families and takes a closer look at Altadena's black history. She's live with this story from Pasadena. Annabelle?
Hi, Philip. Well, right now we're outside of Octavia's bookshelf here in Pasadena. You can see all the jugs and cases of water, and that is because this bookstore is operating as a resource center. And I should mention, it is named after a prominent black figure in black history, author Octavia Butler. Let's go inside. I want to show you all of these shelves that you see to the right. They're typically filled with books. Those books have gone into storage as they've started collecting donations for folks impacted by the Eaton fire.
Altadena holds a history of family, struggle, and beloved community.
At one time, we were 30% African American.
The Mountain View Cemetery is the resting place of abolitionist and educator Ellen Garrison Jackson Clark and renowned author Octavia Butler. The community is also home to hundreds of black families whose homes were ravaged by the Eaton fire 1 week ago.
You've got 3 generations of, and we are Daniels, Franklin, Hughes, and we have an element that's not here, Freeney.
Between these families, 7 homes were destroyed.
There's generational wealth that is in question now.
One that is still standing is the home Shelley Daniels and her husband Paul purchased for about $16,000 in 1960.
At that time, it was pretty difficult as a black person to get past Woodbury, really.
Shelley and Paul were engaged in racial justice efforts with organizations like the NAACP and Women in Action.
We organized in order to get a black member on the city council.
Shelley's granddaughter, Jamaica Hughes, lived in one of the family homes that was destroyed.
I've raised my kids here. Their friends are reaching out. I've had friends reach out to me literally from junior high school.
Hughes is determined to return and rebuild, a wish her 93-year-old grandmother echoes.
I would hope for Altadena to rebuild. I don't think I'll be here to see Altadena rebuild, but I do hope that Altadena rebuilds because it's a wonderful place.
Today, Altadena is a diverse community, roughly 18% African American and 27% Latino.
Give honor and homage to the diversity of our community. There's a large Japanese presence in Altadena.
Veronica Jones, a lifelong resident of Altadena and president of the Altadena Historical Society, hopes the voices of these residents are at the center of an equitable rebuilding of the city. She also has a message to the many intergenerational Black families who call this home.
They don't have to leave. It's their home. It's their place that people, years ago set down the stakes and paid the price for them to be here.
Well, back out here live in Pasadena, Octavia's Bookshelf is still looking for some donations. They're focusing on water and gift cards right now. And folks can't help but notice and point out to the author that this bookstore is named after wrote a book in the 90s, The Parable of the Sower, a book that touched on climate change, racism, and economic disparity, set in 2024 and 2025, including a large fire that takes place in that book in February of 2025.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Get more great ABC7 content by...
So yeah, like I said, I didn't know anything about, I honestly didn't really know too much about the Altadena area either. I think this fire kind of taught many of us. I mean, I talked to several people who said they didn't really know that it was a heavy, we'll say, wealthy Black area. And so I really, really hope that they are able to rebuild. I really hope that they don't get that they're not pulled into a lot of the schemes. I'm gonna say, we'll say scams too, but mostly schemes from a lot of these companies coming in, trying to use this as an opportunity for people to get land at a really cheap value, because a lot of these individuals are older. They don't have the time or the resources to rebuild. It's really different from the Palisades fire, and I'm not saying anyone is either fire is better or worse, but it's really different when you're talking about these people. A lot of these homes have been owned by the same person for the last 60 years. Pacific Palisades is a relatively new area in general. And so the people living in those homes are generally younger compared to the Altadena area. Again, this is not to say that one person's situation is better than the other. I'm just laying out the facts. You do with that, what you will, but we'll specifically, we're talking about the Altadena folks now, and it's just, I feel that a lot of these individuals who have homes out there, are not going to go back. They're not going to be able to, for one reason or another. Mostly because they just don't have enough time. Especially with what I heard, I don't know which area it affects the most or if it's across the board, but I hear that the fire insurance company started canceling people, first day of the fire. Right. And I don't think that they'll get away with it. I think that, in my opinion, I think that is part of their strategy to give themselves more time to get the money together, because now the homeowners are going to have to sue these insurance companies or file a claim with them in court, and that could take years. I recently spoke with someone who lost their home in the Katrina flood 2 weeks after he bought it. And he had insurance and everything, but he said it took him to get his home taken care of. I think he said 2 or 3 years. He was out of a home for 2 or 3 years. Actually, it got settled 2 or 3 years. It took 2 or 3 years to get settled, and then probably another year or so to get built. So he was out of a home longer than that, probably closer to 3 or 4 years before he was able to be back in the home that he purchased. And so I believe, again, I'm just speculating on this last part, that the insurance companies did that to be able to give themselves time through, they'll fight in court and try and prolong as long as they can, so that they can get the money together, because these insurance companies don't have money like that to be able to take care of 100,000 structures and homes, right? They don't have the money like that. So this will be interesting. But I definitely wanted to share this for those of you who were like me, who either lived in the area and didn't understand the impact, or are out of the area and didn't understand the true impact, specifically to Black families without the resources to rebuild. Very interesting. Very interesting. But we'll see what comes of it. If they do anything that I believe that they will, that I told you I would not share, I'll definitely bring it up then. Let's hope for the best, though, all right? Y'all let me know what y'all think, though. It's Ricky Rich with Black Primacy. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your notifications.